And welcome to Friday at 5, a little deja vu here as we have our second South Plains Honor Flight this year. Of course, we've been talking about why we're taking this trip of a lifetime again to really get back on that fall schedule for the South Plains Honor Flight. But what an amazing opportunity to get more veterans to Washington, D.C. on this all-expenses paid trip for them to see how our nation honors them.
And we're so thankful that we were even able to do that with your generous donations. This is an all-expenses paid trip for our veterans, 3 days, 2 nights to go to Washington, D.C. to be with their comrades, to see the memorials and monuments that were built in their honor, the honor of those who fought beside them, and the honor of those who didn't make it home.
And we should mention this is the luncheon, kind of a send-off luncheon for these veterans to gather for the first time, meet their guardians if they haven't met them, get all their gear and ready to go as we hit the ground running tomorrow. So joining us is Angela Allen, the president of the South Plains Honor Flight. Again, we mentioned the deja vu. It's 2024B that we've been calling it. So what does it mean for the organization itself, but also these veterans to get another plane full to D.C.? Because, you know, we were talking last time about how there are veterans waiting for this trip of a lifetime.
It's truly amazing for our organization. We are incredibly thankful for our generous community who makes it possible through funding. But for us to be able to decrease our wait list by this number of veterans who don't have to wait another 16 months to go on an honor flight, because we don't know what the future will bring, and would we have these same veterans this time next year if we had waited. So it's a blessing. It's a lot of work, but something we're very proud to do. We love what we do, and to get to take a 2024B trip is truly just amazing. We're excited.
And 86 veterans on this flight, 83 Vietnam, 3 Korean War veterans. I mean, we go kind of on the same trip, of course, to the same memorials, but what is it for these veterans? I mean, what are they going to experience generally, as we mentioned, just honoring them, thanking them for their service?
Well, it really started today with our send-off, and that's where we kind of start all the pomp and circumstance, and we really get together as a group. But going forward, we will see, tomorrow we start out at the World War II Memorial. We'll have a wreath laying by our oldest veteran, Korean War veteran Lowell Cadell. So on behalf of our group, he'll be the one laying the wreath at that. And really, we just hope that we are able to show them the respect and honor that they deserve at every single stop. So tomorrow, hit the ground running at World War II, and then followed by, I can't remember which one we go to
the
right
Air
after
Force
that.
Memorial.
Air Force, yes.
There's a lot that we're going to do. It's hard to remember.
I know. Well, and it's, you know, there's truly just so much that we pack into 3 days because we want to get the most bang for our buck and see as much as we can, which is unique to our honor flight that we get to do that a 3-day trip.
And lastly, you mentioned bang for our buck. We couldn't do it without the generosity. And so, you know, we had the funds to get the second flight off the ground, but we'll need those funds going forward to make sure the next flights go. So what would you say to folks watching and how impactful their donation could be to this organization?
Well, every dollar counts, and I think that's the most important. You know, we have some people, and I've heard it during the telethon when I've answered phones, and they're like, you know, I can give $20, but to me, I think of that in terms of, well, you have paid for lunch for 2 of our veterans on the bus, or you have funded a hotel room. You know, if it's $100, that helps to fund a hotel room. So truly, we are a volunteer-driven organization, funded completely by donations, and every single dollar that we earn goes towards our veterans. I know we've talked about these figures before, but it takes about $250,000 to get a flight off the ground. And we were very lucky that we had that in the bank ready to go to kind of get a second trip off the ground, but we are digging into that a little bit, and so we will definitely need any support that is given to us to be ready to fund 2025.
We hope to get there, so thank you so much, Angela. Appreciate it. And as she mentioned, we have the telethon. That's also going to be coming up on Veterans Day.
And what a beautiful way that Angela just, you know, put it in perspective. You can give $10. That's one of our meals there on the lunch for one of our, you know, a lunch for one of our veterans. What a beautiful aspect to think. $10. You may not think that really matters, but it does. We can't do this without those donations. As Keisha just mentioned, we do have our South Plains Honor Flight Telethon coming up on November 11th, which is Veterans Day. Please join us, and join us as we go this weekend to Washington, D.C. Follow us on our social media platforms, of course, here on air, and then join us Monday when we get back at the airport. 7:45-ish is what we're looking at. Grab your friends, your family, your church members, and come join us to welcome home these veterans, many of them who got the exact opposite when they came back.
And we will see you then. Stay with us. We'll be right back.